Every time we see an aircraft just soaring through the sky, it's pretty easy to just take it for granted. But behind that smooth, graceful flight, there's a quiet revolution going on. And it's not in the engines or the shape of the wings. It's in the very bones of the machine. We're talking about a massive shift in materials science.
So, what's the big secret? What allows these modern jets to fly further than ever, sip fuel, and, here's a weird one, even make us feel a little less crummy after a long flight? Well, the answer is literally woven into the fabric of the plane itself.
Okay, so to really get where we are now, we've got to take a quick look back. For the better part of a century, aviation had one undisputed king of materials, and its name was aluminum.
And hey, for a good reason. Aluminum alloys were just the perfect tool for the job for a really long time. They're lightweight, they're plenty strong, and crucially, engineers knew them inside and out. They knew how to build with them, how to maintain them. Think about the absolute workhorses of the sky, like the classic Boeing 747 or the Airbus A320 you've probably flown on, all built from good old reliable aluminum. But here's the thing about aviation. It never, ever stands still. Airlines were under this constant, relentless pressure to be more fuel efficient. Fuel is a massive, massive cost, right? So every single pound you can shave off a plane's weight means huge savings and, of course, fewer emissions. Aluminum was good, but good wasn't going to cut it anymore. They needed something better.
And that is when a brand new challenger stepped into the ring. And listen, this wasn't just some slightly better version of metal. Nope. This was a whole new class of material, something that was about to completely change how airplanes are designed, built, and even how they feel to fly in. This was the beginning of the carbon fiber revolution.
The star of this whole show is something called a composite material. So, what is that? Well, it's actually pretty simple at its core. You just take two or more totally different things, combine them, and bam! You get a new material that has the best properties of its parents, and then some. It's like creating a super team.
Now, in aviation, the rockstar composite is called carbon fiber reinforced plastic, or CFRP. Think of it like this incredible high-tech recipe. First, you take thousands upon thousands of carbon threads, and these things are thinner than a single human hair, and you weave them together into a fabric. Then, you soak that fabric in a special binding resin. And finally, you stick the whole thing in a giant, high-tech oven and bake it under mind-boggling heat and pressure.
And what comes out at the end of that process? Whoa, it's absolutely astonishing. You end up with a material that has the strength of steel, but weighs a whole lot less than even the lightweight aluminum it was designed to replace. That's pretty much the holy grail of aerospace engineering.
And this isn't just some idea from a science lab. This technology is flying over our heads every single day. It became the very foundation for two of the most advanced jets in the sky, the Boeing 787 Dreamliner and the Airbus A350.
Now, just to give you an idea of how big a deal this is, we are not talking about a couple of panels here and there. For both the Dreamliner and the A350, composite materials make up more than half, let me say that again, more than half of the plane's entire structure by weight. That is a monumental, game-changing shift in how we build things that fly.
So, what does all this high-tech stuff actually mean in the real world? Well, a change this massive brings some incredible benefits, but it also comes with a whole new set of challenges, both for the airlines and, for us passengers.
The number one benefit, the big headline, is fuel efficiency. It's pretty basic physics, right? A lighter plane needs less power to push it through the air, and that means it burns less fuel. For the airlines, that means saving a ton of money. For the planet, it means fewer carbon emissions for every flight. It's a win-win.
But here's another huge advantage: durability. See, unlike aluminum, these carbon fiber composites don't rust, they don't corrode, ever. That means the body of the plane is way more durable, which, over the decades an aircraft is in service, adds up to massive savings in long-term maintenance costs.
And here's one you can actually feel. Because the plane's body isn't metal that can rust, the airlines can pump more moisture into the cabin air. That can also keep the cabin pressure closer to what we're used to on the ground. So what's the result? You know that awful, dry, exhausted feeling you get after a really long flight? It's way, way less intense on these planes. It's a real game changer. Okay, it all sounds pretty perfect, right? But no revolution is that easy. The very properties that make composites so incredibly strong also make them much more complicated to work with, especially when something goes wrong.
And the difference in how you fix these things is just night and day. If you damage an aluminum panel, you can often just cut out the bad part and weld or rivet a patch in place. It's pretty straightforward. But composites? Oh man, a repair is more like delicate surgery. Technicians have to painstakingly rebuild those woven layers one by one. It takes incredible skill, a ton of time, and it's way more complex.
So, if composites are the now, what's coming up next? Because engineers are never satisfied. They're already hard at work on the next generation of materials that are going to push the boundaries of flight even further.
And we're talking about some seriously cool stuff on the horizon. Things like ceramic matrix composites, which can handle the insane heat you find inside a jet engine. There are also brand new metal alloys that are even lighter than what we have today. But maybe the most exciting idea is smart materials. Materials that could one day sense damage and literally heal themselves. Just imagine that.
It all means that the next time you step on board a modern airplane, take a second. Realize that you're not just climbing into a simple metal tube anymore. You are sitting inside a woven, meticulously crafted engineering masterpiece, and it's all part of this relentless quest to build a lighter, more efficient, and better future in the sky.